Rome.
He's been in the waiting room for 5 hours. He said.
All right, cool. We should be live. Let me shut my bedroom door. Just got off a video call with the old ball and chain.
How's she doing?
She's doing good. She's up in New York for her dad's birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so hey, Nick's got the crib to himself. Yeah, man.
Going crazy?
Well, I haven't folded my laundry, I'll tell you that much. And why? What channel is the Heat game on?
No idea.
Me either. Hold up, let me try.
I got no idea.
Try to work something. So, bro, one of your props, I loved it. Actually, maybe two. Actually, two. So, two of your props, I loved without like looking at yours to like take from them. When I'm just reviewing what I want to take, I was like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. And then when I come to the thing, Bean already had them. I like the MVS over, and I like the Taylor Swift before the first touchdown. Like that's easy as fuck. They're showing
that seems like too much of a lock.
They're showing
what up,
Taylor Swift early. What's good, Beat?
Yo, boys. You're already getting into it. Live.
You fired up?
45.
Son.
I'm hearing about Taylor Swift. I'm hearing about props. I'm fucking pumped to talk a little football for one more time for a while.
Uno más, baby.
I know. Wow, it's so sad.
It's sad. This is like a day of mourning for me, Super Bowl Sunday. You know, it's like I love it. It's my favorite day, but it's also like we don't have football for so long. You know,
I love the obscure BS that they put on this game. Like you can have action from pre-game to post-game.
Oh, absolutely.
It's surprising how bad Hard Rock is, though, at having props and listing.
They drop
you can't even. It's terrible.
Yeah. I've heard that Vegas is loving all of this action on the Chiefs because it's all these Taylor Swift people, all these people new football, and they're completely fine if the Chiefs win and they take a hit because of all these new bettors that they're going to get. Look how easy this is. Look at this.
That Taylor Swift thing's up to minus 164 from minus 150. You know why I also think it's a good bet? It's not on like any of the national books, probably. It's just on our stupid little book. But yeah, it feels like it's from kickoff, though. It's not the beginning of the broadcast, obviously.
What's the
bet? Okay. That changed things a little bit.
What happens first, a touchdown or Taylor Swift shown on camera after the kickoff?
Oh my God. Ooh, it's tough, man.
How is Taylor Swift in a prop? Romy, I got my special Taylor Swift prop of the year coming in the pod tonight. I think I probably just tipped it, but yeah, it's I guess the biggest risk is if the Niners get it first, and they go down and score, but I still think they may show her.
Yeah, because even if the Niners get it first, it could be pre-scripted. Like, oh, let's mention the Grammys. Let's mention her historic.
Well, it's right after the kickoff, though. It's not.
Right. Yeah, so they've already mentioned it scripted.
Probably. But if the Chiefs get it and Kelsey gets a catch right away, she's 1,000,000% being shown. Like, that's a guarantee.
And what are the chances that Kelsey is not in any design play in their opening drive?
0%.
Yeah, I could just see CBS is usually pretty good about not showing her right away. Like, they're like, we don't want to push it. But I could see Kelsey catching a ball, and then they go to – and his mom in the stands and pan to like Mama Kelsey.
Oh, she'll be in
next to her. Yeah.
Yep.
Like it hits
and remember,
on that.
It's a touchdown too. So like, the game, what if it's a slow start and we go like a quarter without a touchdown? Like she's going to be shown.
Yeah.
She's going to be shown.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to get into this? Are we ready?
Let's do it, baby.
I'm ready. Who's ready?
Right.
Let's get into it.
One more check. Let's see if Evan's sleeping for good. Nah. He's moving around. All right. He's fine. All right.
He'll be all right.
It's time. It's time. It is. Let's see what Becca said. All right. I'm all good. I think I'm all good. Well, close enough.
Were we not recording that, by the way?
It's all on YouTube, but the pod is not live yet.
Oh, dude,
So
that was great material right there.
We can leave it in. So I cut sometimes the intro off to leave some exclusive content for YouTube for the people who join live. They can see a little bit more behind the scenes and just random conversation.
We might have to leave that one in. Let's discuss after the pod. All right. The official start of the pod. Last pod of the year, Nick and Bean pod, special guest prop god Andrew Biedick on for the entire episode. He is here. Nick is here. Nick, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, baby. I'm fired up.
You are fired up. I can see it. There's an extra oomph in your voice. I love it. I am so excited for this pod. Before we get into it, last sponsor of the season, Diet Smoke, of course, the greatest company, in the history of the world. I'm going to say it. They've passed Google. They've passed Apple. Best gummies, vapes, pens, whatever the hell you need to get just high enough to feel good, but not too much so you're still in control. Diet Smoke, baby. Nick, you love the product. You use it on a daily basis. Tell me more.
I've actually slowed down on using it, but that's not due to Diet Smoke being a bad product. I just got to take a personal break. Every once in a while.
All right, we're cutting Nick off. The ad is done. Everyone code Nick and Bean.
I'm telling the truth.
No, Nick's too honest. That's the problem. Code Nick and Bean, E on the end of Bean, 20% off. Biedick, how are you feeling, brother? First time you're with us for the beginning of the episode. You'll be here throughout the entire Super Bowl pod. How you feeling?
I'm feeling phenomenal. This is awesome. We don't have much football lately. It's been a couple weeks since we've had a game. And you know what? I just really am excited to come on and talk some football for the first time in a while and for the last time for a long while. So,
Yep. It's a great day, but a sad day. Nick, before I forget, please go post the link to the YouTube in the Fly Wolf Cup and our league. I appreciate that now. Thank you. I honestly, when I went through this, I can officially say we may be the greatest gambling pod. And when we started giving out picks, we told you these are just our picks. We bet them. We have fun with them. We don't consider ourselves experts or anything. We do it for the love of the game. But when I read these records off to you, you guys are going to shit yourselves because we are probably one of the best gambling pods in the history of the world this year. None of us lost. Myself, 25, 22, and 2 on the year. Nick swept the divisional round to go to 25 and 20. And of course, Prop God, he didn't give us I don't think we had many picks the last few weeks, but he ended 22 and 9. So, I mean, you add that all up, that is 72 and 51 on the year. Just incredible. It's been a great year. We're blessed. And now we are going to give you a plethora of winners for the Super Bowl. Now, before we get to our bets, let's break down the game together real quick. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but I wanted to give, a quick breakdown and get our thoughts generally on the game. So San Francisco, depending on what book you're on, they're either -2 or -2.5. That line went down to 1 for a minute, and it got back bet up to 2 and 2.5. The over-under is 47.5, and the money so far is on the Chiefs. 70% of the bets, 69% of the money. Nick, talk to me about the game. What are your thoughts? Initial reaction, rematch from 4 years ago. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
So a little bit shocking, but the Chiefs, I think a lot of us can agree, were not playing really up to their potential or what we're used to seeing from the Chiefs all season. They've picked it up in the playoffs based on their EPA per play or whatever you want to call that, which is like expected points added per play in the playoffs. But I think part of that is due to some of the matchups that they've had. They played the Dolphins that were extremely hobbled at the defensive end. I think we picked up like Justin Houston. I forget the guys we were picking up at linebacker to play them. We played in like whatever degree weather that was, and they ran 2 tight end sets. I think it was 40% of the time, which is what? That's going to be forcing the team to play a lot of linebackers, and we had no linebackers. So I think the stats are skewed. I'm leaning 49ers in this game. I think that team has been, at least since week 8, one of the best teams in the league. The Chiefs have not.
All right, Biedick, give me yours.
Oh man, I mean, Mahomes is the second GOAT, second greatest of all time, but you know how I feel about Brock Purdy, and I
love Purdy.
I love Purdy. I've been a believer since like 3 games in, and you never bet against Mahomes, but I've also never bet against Brock Purdy. So this is like when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, and I think this is going to be a really close game, and I think it's going to be a shootout, and my props reflect that. So I don't know. I can't pick a winner. I really can't.
I figured you were torn because you always ride with Mahomes, and then Purdy obviously is your guy now. So it's just a tough, and the line shows that being at 2. Obviously, we saw Vegas this year. They didn't really give any pick'ems. The pick'em is kind of out. They were either going, if they felt it was a pick'em, they were going 1 or 1.5. So it shows that, the Niners are the favorite, but this game is really, truly a pick'em in my eyes. So just a few things from the rematch 4 years ago. If you remember, it was the last event before the world shut down for COVID. This was February of 2020. The Niners, the Chiefs won that game 31-20, but if people don't remember, the Niners were up 20-10 in that fourth quarter, and they really blew that game. Garoppolo had a couple bad plays. Mahomes hit Tyreek on a deep ball, and they came back and they did win by, I think, they won by 11 points, but it wasn't an 11-point game. The Niners were in control most of that game. Some stats from that game: Kelce, 6 for 43, not many yards. He did have a touchdown. It was a 1-yard touchdown. But remember, they had Tyreek Hill. He had 9 for 105. On the other side of the ball, Kittle was shut down as well, 4 for 36. Debo had a big game, 5 for 39 through the air and 3 carries for 53 yards. And then again, Tyreek was there for Kansas City. They're both of the Dolphins now. Mostert was the guy for San Francisco. He had 58 yards and a touchdown. In that game, total was much higher. It was a 53.5 total, barely went under, and the Chiefs were 1.5-point favorites in that game. So I'll give you my thoughts on the game. When the championship games ended, instantly I was like, I'm not betting against Mahomes. He had just ruined my Baltimore Ravens future from before the season. You can't go against Mahomes. You can't go against Mahomes. And then as the time went on, San Francisco, the rematch, Shanahan's first Super Bowl, it really feels like I'm torn between the two as well. And as of right now, I am not betting the game straight up. I think the Chiefs are a great teaser leg, but as we've talked, and maybe it's in someone's bet, it's tough to know what to tease that with. So it's going to be a great game. If I was leaning one way, I'd stay with Mahomes and bet Mahomes, because you don't want to go. It was like going against Brady in his prime. You don't want to be on the wrong side of it. You can live with yourself if you bet on him and he loses, but it's tough to be on the wrong side of that. So, all right, this is what we are going to. Go ahead.
Can I just say, isn't that the sign of such a great game? We have 2 out of 3 absolute degenerates who are not willing to pick a winner in this game. Like, you can't ask for more than that. It really goes to show how great and even these 2 teams are.
Yep. Yeah, it's very hard to take Mahomes. Mahomes plus points has been a winning bet like for a few years now. It's very hard to go against that.
Yeah.
And you're on the opposite side of that, though, Nick. You're going to go with the Niners. I have a feeling because of the public money, the sharp money is going to be on the Niners. But again, like we talked about, and this is why it's such a great game, because you can make the case for either side. I mean, one day I'm making it for the Niners, one day I'm making it for the Chiefs, and they both make sense. So I think we're going to see a great game. I think the game, and you'll see one of my props, which I absolutely love, is going to be close for sure. I have some Chiefs with some points in one of my same game parlays, but here's how we're going to do the show. We are going to do categories, okay? So we're going to do prop categories from here on out. And we're going to do everyone's going to give a first TD bet, an anytime TD bet, our favorite player prop, favorite obscure prop, something that really only the Super Bowl has, a same game parlay each, and then we have Beat It giving you an exact score on the game, which is going to pay out 200 to 1. So you want to stay tuned for that. After that, we've got any extra props we can think of. To tell you the truth, guys, I've got over 17 props that I've bet so far. So I've got a long list coming to you after we're done with the categories.
You're sick in the head.
I know. I'm sick in the head. It's our last game of the year. I want to bet everything I possibly can. And when you have 7,000 props to choose from, it's easy to get 20 props. So anything else on the game? Nick's on the Niners. Beedick and I are torn. Let's get into the categories. So first TD, who wants to lead us off?
I'll take this one. Yeah. First TD bets for me are tough. We used to love these bets. One of the trends you'll see with my props is that I think this is a Kittle game. He's been crushing it for the past 12 weeks, some of his career high in yards and catches. And he's been quiet for the playoffs. And that's not because something's wrong with him or he's not playing well. It's just depending on the matchups, the Niners use him and they don't. And I think this is one of those games where not only do I see him scoring the first touchdown, I could see him scoring 2. I could see him scoring 3, having a 50-yard run. Like I think he's going to have a game, and I think he's a good first touchdown bet at what is it? Like
it is 10 to 1 you're getting on that. So it's actually a pretty good number for Kittle.
Yes, that was part of why I liked it. So
and he's also 10 to 1 for 2 touchdowns or more. So, I feel like if you're going to go that route, you probably go the first touchdown route. But I will tell you that in I think it's 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 of the last Super Bowls, there's been someone with 2 touchdowns in the game. So if you're thinking that way, maybe the 10 to 1 gets you better value on the 2 touchdowns, but I like both.
Can I give you the 3 to 1 odds? Because I have this in one of my bets right now. I'm not a big Kittle.
What do you mean 3 to 1? Kittle, 3 touchdowns.
Kittle to score 3 touchdowns is 80 to 1. So I've got $15 to win 1,200 on 3 touchdowns for Kittle. I've got 18 bets as well. Probably more.
Yes. And that's why we brought you in. All right, Nick, give me your first touchdown.
My first touchdown is Deebo Samuel plus 750. I think that it's either going to be McCaffrey, in my opinion, either McCaffrey or Deebo. I think the Chiefs play pretty good against the number 1 wide receivers, which would be Ayuk. And so, Deebo, big physical guy. I think he's going to have a hell of a game alongside McCaffrey. But for first touchdown, since McCaffrey's at like half the number that Deebo is, give me Deebo at plus 750 for first touchdown.
Love it. I decided you guys are both on Niners, guys. They've been coming out slow, so I decided to go to the other side of the ball. I've got 2. I've got a long shot, and I've got a standard one. So Kelsey is 8 to 1, so better number than Deebo. A little bit worse than Kittle, but I think that's good value. Even if you want to throw $20-25, start the Super Bowl out with a couple $100 win. Love that. And then I got Noah Gray. He actually, when I took it, he was 40 to 1 for first touchdown. It's dropped to 30 to 1. So either way, Chiefs tight ends, I like to have a long shot on it. $20 wins you 600 on Gray. But my main bet would be Kelsey. So we've got Beedick's got Kittle. Nick's got Debo. I've got Kelsey and Gray. Those are your first touchdown bets. I will roll us into the anytime touchdown bet because I got one that I think, it's been a lock all playoffs and for a long time now. And it's -110, but I think you got to just take Isaiah Pacheco to score a touchdown. They're running Mahomes less. When they get around the goal line, they've been less cute than they used to be. They're running the ball with him. They trust him with the ball. So I think at -110, I think Pacheco, however you want to say it, is a really solid bet. I've put that down as one of mine. Beat, do you have one of these or you stay away from these?
I'm going to take Pacheco as well. And I do stay away from these. And I just think that's a great bet. I'm the type of guy who loves to bet as a running back to win Super Bowl MVP every year. And they never do, but I just think it's great value. So I like the Pacheco one at -110. That would be my pick if I had to take one.
All right. And give me what you got, Nick.
My anytime touchdown is hella, what do you want to call that?
Juiced.
Square juiced. Yeah. So I'm taking McCaffrey -275 because I don't see how he does not score a single touchdown in this game. So you're going to have to pay for this one, but they're going to have to keep the 49ers scoreless to keep McCaffrey out of the end zone.
So tell me this. Let's say if you're betting that, since it's such a heavy odds bet, are you maybe like parlaying it with the Niners to win to get you plus money, or are you just betting that straight up?
I would probably put that in a same game parlay, but like that wasn't really the category here. But
no, I love that bet. Like that's the right bet. Like it sucks, and you're getting $40 if you bet 100, but like that's the right bet, and it's gonna hit. And like now you get to fund yourself on a few crazy props with that money. So.
Yeah, he hits every game, so I definitely like it. And we've seen the Chiefs be susceptible to – I can't even speak. But we've seen teams run all – people forget that 3 weeks ago now, but 2 games ago, James Cook was looking like an all-pro back in the first 3 quarters of that game against the Chiefs. So let's not forget they are – I think – McCaff, his props are super high. We know that. But I think betting him to score, and I think it's a really solid bet. It's tough to see it lose. What is he for 2 touchdowns? It's like +170. The guy, like 3 touchdowns is only 6-1. So like Vegas knows they're not messing around with McCaffrey touchdowns. They're going to make you pay for it. All right. So B-Dick and I are on Pacheco. You are on McCaff. Now, favorite player prop. Nick, lead us off in this category.
So my favorite player prop is Brandon Ayuk under 60.5 points, or not points, under 60.5 yards. I don't think that he gets off in this game. I think that the Chiefs can limit at least him. Pause. I think the Chiefs can at least limit him in this game. And I think 60.5 is pretty high. Like, okay, he has a decent game with 45 yards. I think the 49ers can still execute their game plan without Ayuk going for like something like 75 yards this game.
Got it. All right. The only thing I will say that's tough is you've seen it. He catch the deep ball. He catches one of those, and you're almost done with your prop. What do you have, a 50-yarder last game or 55-yarder? But on the other hand, McDuffie, Snead, they're just good, man. They're just good corners. They've shut down almost everyone. So I see where you're at with this one. Beat it. Go ahead.
I love that prop because I love George Kittle. So I think George Kittle is going to get most of the action. And George Kittle's receiving prop, I think, is 46.5 receiving yards. Okay. But he has an alternate line of over 55.5 receiving yards, which is +135.
Okay.
So I'm taking that. I just think, it's 9 more yards for a decent chunk of change that you get with it. And then
was it minus money at the other one?
Yeah. I think it was like -120 for the over 46.5 receiving.
Well worth those 9 yards.
Yeah. And then number 2 for the final podcast of the year, I couldn't go without taking a kicking prop. So,
of course.
Yeah, I'm going with Mr. Perfect. The guy just doesn't miss. Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals. And that's, the standard minus 110 or minus 115.
Awesome.
Harrison
All
Butker,
right.
was it?
Harrison Butker.
We're going back to the well. I took this in the championship game. It was 16.5. It's bumped up to 19.5. He hit this on the ceiling play in the championship game, but I think he breaks a big one in this, and that's what you're counting on with this prop. It is MVS over 19.5 receiving yards. It's basically a catch, and if he gets one that's 10 yards, it's 2 catches. But I feel he hits this. The Niners corners are not the best. They're decent. They're going to count on their pass rush, and guess what the Chiefs do? They block really well. Give me MVS over 19.5 yards. And that'll wrap up our player props.
Wait. We have to talk about how he hit this last game. I know you said on the ceiling play, but he did not have a catch all game. Being loved.
No, he had one.
He had one, but he didn't hit his yards. And Bean loved this prop before the game. And it's the end of the game. The Chiefs are just running the clock out and get.
I was so sad.
He was done.
I was so sad.
He was tapped out. He might have turned off the TV even. And
I did turn off the TV because my Ravens future, the 200 to win $4,000 or whatever, was being pissed down the toilet, and I didn't hedge enough on the Chiefs, and my day was ruined. And then Beedick starts texting in our group that MVS did something, and I lost my shit. It was amazing.
It was incredible. So I completely get you riding this one into the Super Bowl. Can we use this moment to talk about Tony? Because it worries me a little bit about Tony playing. I love that MVS prop without Tony. Do we think Tony's going to see the field? Like, I don't even get why they're letting him show up. Like,
they can't count on him. They haven't all year. I don't think that I would factor that in much.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah.
Well,
I get it.
You're
too.
right.
Yeah.
I'm just putting in some George Kittle bets now that Beedick is going off on him. I just put in his over on yardage and touchdown.
Yeah, you're going to feel good if he has a great game. Like, you're going to look at him. Like, we all love Kittle. We're all going to be like, yo, Kittle. Like, it's a guy you want to root for. Kelsey was hyping him up, like, I'm so proud of this guy.
They love each other.
Yeah, all the tight ends in the league have, like, the best relationship, like, so many of these receivers seem to not like each other. Like, these tight ends are, like, all best friends, like the Ertz and the Kelseys and the Kittles and the Gronks. And
so true.
Yeah, and Laporta will be next into their little club for sure.
I think partially because it's less of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like, you know what I mean? But while we're derailed, I want to go into one prop that I bet every year against one of my best friends ever, Craig from college, head versus tails. Don't bet this against the book people because there's no reason to pay Jews. Just pick somebody that you know and bet them head versus tails. It's a little spicy action you can get right at the start of the game. Craig's a tails never fails guy. So, of course, your boy got heads. So,
love it.
The key.
I'll take tails this year. I already bet it, and you just ruined one of my props that I was going to give out at the end.
Wow. The key, I will tell you guys, as a true degenerate, is as the toss is happening, you have to say tails never fails. And if you don't say tails never fails as the toss happens, it's heads. Okay,
well,
so make sure you guys say
watching. Hopefully Craig is not watching this.
All right. Player props, Beedick had Butker over, Kittle over 55.5. Nick had the Ayuk under 60.5, and I had the MVS over 19.5. Favorite obscure prop, I am going to lead this off, and I hope you have it on your book because this is a fun one. It is, after the kickoff, what happens first? A touchdown or they show Taylor Swift? We are taking the Taylor Swift side. We're laying the minus 150. It will happen before a touchdown happens, all right? They got to show her. CBS has shown her less than other networks. You did point that out earlier, Beedick, this year, but it's the big game. It's the end all. They know that every 13-year-old girl is watching with their dad. They know every girlfriend's watching with their boyfriend. And guess what you need? You need to show Taylor Swift in the first 5 minutes of the game. Minus 150. That's my bet. Nick, what you got on this one?
I love that one. I think that one's easy money. Okay, so my obscure prop, I think it's obscure, is Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy both to complete their first pass attempt. The reason I call it obscure is because you don't get offerings like this on any other game during the year. So that is coming out at minus 120. And I think with the scripted plays, they get them something easy. I don't think they're going for like a 50-yard bomb for some wild play to develop. I think it's probably like Brock Purdy gets like a 3-yard pass to, who knows, Christian McCaffrey or Kittle, and then Mahomes gets like a 2-yard completion to whoever. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a very hard one to hit. So Brock Purdy and Mahomes to both complete their first attempt in this game.
Wait, so do they both have to hit it for the bet to hit, or is it two separate bets?
No. They both need to hit one bet. That's why I think it's obscure.
They both have to complete it, and it's minus 120. If you take them individually, it's closer to like minus 175 or minus 190 to complete their first pass. But together, it's minus 110 or minus 120.
Scripted plays. They've been working on this for 2 weeks. Like
Mahomes, against the Ravens, I think Mahomes came out and threw 3 screen passes to start the game in a row.
Light.
Oh, Purdy might not even throw it. He literally might do the Debo jet sweep, like forward pitch thing.
The way he's been looking in the beginning of these games, they should start doing that.
Yeah. And I think they recognize that, though. Like, they're going – that's just the Niners' game plan is, like, they want to try to warm Purdy up. And I love that bet, Nick. I think that's a great bet.
Not only are
I'm muting for a second. Okay.
Not only are these two of some of the best teams in the league, these are two of some of the best coaches in the league. These guys are like head and shoulders above about 70% of the league. There's only a few coaches that could even compete with these guys, Shanahan and my guy Andy Reid.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's part of why I love the shootout in this game too. I just think there's going to be some great game plans on offense.
Andy's going to be calling the good plays that we haven't seen all year.
Oh, yeah.
Shanahan.
I was going to say we could see a Kelsey pitch back or something. Kelsey throws it like – oh, yeah, I could see them pulling out the trick play for sure.
No holds bar this Sunday.
Yeah.
What did you end up having for this obscure prop?
Obscure prop. All right, my obscure prop, which I haven't really been using Hard Rock for Super Bowl, so I'm not sure if it's on there. But my obscure prop is picking a first half score, an exact score. Okay, so I have that the first half of the game will end 14-13 Niners. Okay. And part of this ties into I really trust Butker, and I think Butker's field goals are going to come. I don't trust Moody, and so I don't think we're going to see a lot of Niners field goals.
I took us back. We're still here. I just took us back since being walked away. But keep vibing, keep going.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, 14-13 Niners. That's 66-1 for that exact score. So
how much to 1?
66-1. If that is
that's a hella. That's like a big edge. You can bet like what, $5 to win how much or something? Like how much?
Yeah.
What'd you end up putting on that?
I think I put 20. I'd have to check my book, but yeah, 20, 66-1.
So like what, 1,200 or some shit like that.
Yes, to win 1,200 exactly.
Okay, yeah, we love it.
Yeah, funny story actually. My bookies put a max win on my account of $1,500 this week. So I texted them. And I was like, what's up with this? Why do I have this max win of 1,500? And they told me that they did it to everyone. So every account got this limit because they didn't want to lose on, quote, some blue Gatorade shit or something. So, anyways, I'm trying to put in all these like 100-to-1 bets, 200-to-1 bets, and I can't even get them in because they'll win me more than $1,500. So, yeah, this is
scumbags.
That's poor sportsmanship.
Yeah,
scumbags.
I hate
honestly, like, let's be real. Of these 200-to-1 bets, like, you know how much money I've probably given you guys? Like, these are profitable. Yeah, these are profitable bets for you guys. You guys should love taking these. So,
yeah.
All right, where are we at? Did you give your obscure prop, Bedick?
I did.
Did you give your exact score bet?
Let's do that. And how about we all give our exact score predictions of the game? And I know that Nick and Bean don't have odds on these on their books, but pick a score and I'll tell you what the payout is on that score.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
So I'm going to pick 26-22 49ers.
Okay.
Well, that's going to pay $1 jillion to 1 because no one ever scores 20-2.
I know.
I think so. So 26 what?
22.
Okay. This might not even be on here because it's that low
so
odds of winning.
Let me go 24-21. Let me go 24-21.
Okay. By the way, 26-21 was 380 to 1.
Oh, so you might as well take that, Nick.
Yeah.
What's 24-21?
Niners have 24.
Yeah.
Okay, that's got to be one of the most popular numbers, I would think.
It's got to be like 35 to 1 would be my guess.
Yeah, it's 24-21 is 90 to 1.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I mean, we're picking an exact score here. This is tough.
Yeah.
Like, but the payoffs are so good.
Don't bet my exact score bet, people. You're probably throwing money away.
Yeah.
Yep. Mine would be, I would guess, 24-21 Chiefs.
Okay. I'm going to look it up.
That's probably 90 to 1 too then. Yeah, look it up later. All good.
Yeah.
Romy says the underdog will win. I feel you, bro. And I feel like everyone is on that train. And Bedick, you're giving out, what's your score? It's 30. Give us your exact score because you actually bet this.
31-39ers. And yeah, my whole logic behind this was I was counting field goals. So I think Moody, I just can't count on him. So I think he has one. He probably misses one. And with those field goal numbers, 31-30 was a good number to land on. And it's 200 to 1, you know.
Yeah, so you're smoking the over by like 19 points or like 17 points or something.
I really think we're going to see points. I think it's going to be a fun one. You know, it's just two really talented offenses. So, and I do think in the fourth, we see some big stops, you know, so maybe it slows down, but I think, you know, I'm ready for an exciting game. And I don't think we're going to get let down by it. So
before we move on from exact scores or whatever, what's the spread looking like? What type of foods do you guys like to enjoy during the Super Bowl?
Oh, man. Great question. I am like a buffalo chicken dip kind of guy. I'm going to shout out my buddy Alex Chelman. He just got me onto it. He makes it every year. But the buffalo chicken dip is my go-to. I need it. What about you?
Alex, who is that? Is that Brittany Mims?
You don't know him. You don't know him.
No, he's Boulder guy. Yeah.
He makes a good chicken dip too.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What do you? All right, sorry. My Uber driver, the Uber Eats driver, is an idiot, and it's good now. Nick, you are unmute yourself. Nick,
this is an important question.
In the hallway, so I had to mute.
Important question though. What is your favorite Super Bowl foods? Both Bean, you answer, and then we'll go to Nick.
Chicken wings are easy. Hot lemon pepper wings. Nick, what you got?
Oof, man. My man took the wings. My other man took the chicken dip. That's tough, brother.
You like burgers, Nick. I feel like every time we watch the game, you're eating burgers or something.
I love a nice cheeseburger. You can't go wrong with a nice cheeseburger, man.
Nice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I'm taking a Martin roll. That's my go-to
It's
cheeseburger.
got to be something that you can have in your hand. Like, I don't want silverware during the game, to be honest. It's got to be, like,
No.
you know?
Just make a burger wide for me. You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be a high one where I can't get it all in my mouth in one bite?
Pause.
You know, make it wider, not taller.
Pause. Nick, so Bedick wants to be able to get it in his mouth. He wants it wider. All right, we got it.
That's
My
what
dog.
she said.
All right, so we got burgers, we got wings, we got buff chick dip. Can't go wrong. All right, we each did did you do a same game parlay, Nick?
Ooh, we didn't get to the parlays or the tease parlay, whatever. Yeah.
I have
Nick,
one now.
Yeah, you got one cooked up. All right, I'm going to give you mine because I love it and I've already bet it. It's an alt line, Chiefs to 3.5, over 43.5, which is an alternate line. Kittle touchdown, Kelsey touchdown, Purdy interception, and MVS over 25 yards. Let me repeat it. Chiefs 3.5, over 43.5. Kittle and Kelsey score, Purdy pick, and MVS over 25 yards. That pays 25-1. I've got 150 to win 4,100 on it. That's what we're riding with. Nick, what do you got for this?
So I would have to go and check what the odds are on this. I don't even know what the odds are, right? So
I'll do it as you say it. Go.
Okay. I'm throwing in the McCaff anytime TD because I think that's a throw-in just to top off anything. And then I'm going to add to it the Deebo Samuel over 58.5 yards receiving. I can make it spicier, but I'm gonna leave it.
I love Deebo rushing, by the way. I just think that they love to hand it off to him, but they love to protect him. And I think it's the Super Bowl. Like, let's get him involved on the ground, especially. So, just like a side note there.
I don't hate that.
Knicks will pay plus 160. Yeah, we did that Deebo rushing one. It just kills you when they flick it to him and they count that as a catch when it should be really a rush, and he gets 50 yards. You're like, all right, that just kills me. So you get plus 160 on that. Bedick, what do you got for us here?
All right. So mine, it's not like a crazy parlay, but I love my teasers just like Nick. I don't think we've talked about this, but Nick is the teaser guy and I am teaser guy junior. So there is a bet where you can take a team to win by 1 to 6 points, 7 to 12 points, 13 to 18, whatever. So I made my own teaser here and I just took 2 bets. I took Chiefs to win by 1 to 6 points and the Niners to win by 1 to 6 points. So 2 separate bets. It's not a parlay. Okay. And if you take 100 on both, okay, right, you'll get paid out plus 125 if the Niners win and plus 150 if the Chiefs win.
So in theory, you think it's a close game, so one of the teams has to win, right? And you're saying they're not going to win by much, and they're both plus money. So if your idea is semi-correct, you win money regardless of who wins.
Yeah. Let me clarify. So each of these on its own is like plus 300 and plus 350. So I'm saying, take them both. If you hit one, the other's obviously going to lose, right. And at the end of it, it will be basically plus 125 or plus 150, depending on which team wins. So I'm getting it's actually a 6.5 point teaser, because the ties usually push. So I'm getting a teaser with these great numbers. So I love this.
All right.
I'm on board.
Now, Nick, how many more bets do you have? Bedick, how many more bets do you have? And then we'll just run through them. We don't have to go too in detail on all of them. We'll just run through them. Before we do that, he says you're taking burger over tacos. Tacos may be the move. And then he says he's live betting the game. Romy's been hot. He says the underdog's going to win. So I'm guessing he's hoping Mahomes gets down early and leads a comeback, which would be ideal for him. How many more do you have, Nick, before we run this off?
I've got no more bets. You
got no more. Perfect. Bedick, how many you got?
I got 1 or 2. I'm trying to pick a couple here.
All right. So while you think, why don't I read off? I'm going to read every bet I took here, and then you can give us the cherry on top. All right. So I gave out all my, our category bets on top of that, and these are all $50 to $100 bets. I've got tails. I've got is minus 103. You pay a little juice, whatever. A missed extra point is plus 306. I'm putting that in. We got Moody, who's shaky, and Butker's probably not going to miss one. But it's funny, when he misses, it's usually like a weird short one. So we're counting on Moody there, but I like the plus 306 odds. Here's one I really like. The game is decided by 3, 7, 10, 14, or 17. You get 3, 7, 10, 14, or 17 either direction. That's plus 116. You're getting plus odds. Here's one that's hit 4 straight years and 7 out of 8. It's the shortest touchdown to be under 1.5 yards, meaning there will be a 1-yard touchdown. That's minus 150. I've got Purdy interception, minus 139. I've got Purdy over 3.5 rushing attempts. This is one of my best bets. I think he knows what he did well in the second half of last game. I think he runs the ball more than 3 times. Kicker to this, if he has 3 carries, a kneel down does count as a carry. So if he has 3 and they're winning, he'll get that on the last play. I've got my long shot at MVP. I bet it at 250 to 1. It's down to 150. That's Fred Warner. I've got $25 on that. Some fun ones. Offensive lineman to score a touchdown, 60 to 1. I sprinkled that for $20. Non-QB throws a touchdown is 40 to 1. I sprinkled $20 on that. And then besides those, I gave out all my other ones. My best bets for the game are that team wins by 3, 7, 10, 14, 17, the MVS over, and the Purdy over 3.5 rushing attempts.
So I've got one that I think I'm going to throw in here that I
throw it
seen.
in.
Okay, so you can bet both Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy to have over 10 rushing yards. I forget the odds on that one.
Boost.
It's on Hard Rock app.
Love that.
And I'm going to end up betting that one after hearing Bean's breakdown of Purdy, to be honest.
I have that Purdy bet too, actually. The rush attempts. And I know that quarterback rushing yards, okay, in the playoffs, I don't have the exact number here, but the over on quarterback rushing yards has hit like 15 of 18 games or something like that. I remember It was like 8-0 at one point. So, yeah, it's the playoffs. Quarterbacks are running, and I don't think that's a surprise to anyone.
No. Yeah. 10 yards is not that much. 11 yards is not that much. I think they can have that.
Yeah, Purdy's line is 12.5 for rushing yards. So
he looked fast, didn't he? Fast as he's ever looked. That's
he's fast as shit, low key.
Yeah, right. Like people were. I actually saw that Purdy yards bet over 12 rushing yards is the second most popular prop bet on the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I'm gonna throw in Mahomes because he always gets a couple. You know what I mean?
I'm glad I stuck with the attempts then over the yards. So Nick, that's the one you're giving is 10 plus rushing yards for Mahomes and Purdy. If that's a real bet, I don't know if it is. I can't find it. Beedick, what do you got for us to round out the show?
All right. So I did one of these double result bets, which is really an overtime bet. So I have Chiefs winning at half, tied at the end of regulation, Niners winning at half, tie at the end of regulation, and those are 38 to 1. So that is a bet for overtime, but it just can't be tied at half as well.
Got it.
I also have, which is similar to Bean's bet, either team wins by exactly 3. That's 4.5 to 1 or plus 450.
The most popular number for a game to end in the NFL in history is 3.
Yeah. I just think even if the numbers are weird and something happens, like if a team needs a 2 at the end of the game to tie it, like I trust both of these teams to get it. And when it's tied at the end, like it's ending on a field goal. So I love that 3 number. A fun one here that it's kind of a low payout. It was like 100 to win 63 is use check to catch 1 pass. I've been liking this all year. It's dropped lower recently. Another one, Chiefs over 22.5 total points. That's minus 130.
Like that. I like that use check bet. I'm taking it right now as we're going.
Yeah. And last one for me is Chiefs total tackles. Okay. Under 38.5 total tackles. So these tackle bets aren't usually available for most games. I just went through and looked at how many tackles do the Chiefs usually have. Okay. And they usually have less than 38.5. It's something like 35. And the Niners give up the least tackles for whatever reason. So they run out of bounds, or if it's an assist, okay. So 2 guys tackle someone, it's an assisted tackle. That doesn't count as a tackle too. So maybe they have a lot of assisted tackles to take down McCaffrey. I don't know, but Chiefs under 30.5 tackles, and that's like the standard minus 115.
Love it. All right. We gave you a million props. If you can't bet this game after this podcast, well, then you're not a human being. One of the best, most anticipated Super Bowls in a long time. Rematch, Taylor Swift, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Brock Purdy, the Niners, the Shanahans, $2.5 million for a suite. The nicest suite. It's in Vegas, the first Super Bowl ever. I mean, you could not want more. And honestly, I've never been happier. I'm never going to be happy to be on my couch watching this and not going to the game. Like, this game just feels like such an event. It's just going to be incredible to sit back, watch it on our couch, eat buffalo chicken dip, eat chicken wings, eat burgers, eat tacos. I mean, it's going to be epic. This is our last pod for the season. I mean, I don't know when we're going to see you next. It could be months. It was an honor, Nick, to do this podcast this year with you. Prop God was one of the best additions we could have ever made. I'm happy you spent the entire podcast here with us. And besides that, we will see you in the 2024 NFL season. Nick, what do you got for him? Parting words.
The scrambled legs is what that prop is called, and it's plus 100 on Hard Rock app. The over 10 yards.
We're all in on that scrambled legs. Purdy and Mahomes 10+ rushing yards. Nick, I'm betting it right now. I will see you all in a few months. We might do a draft pod. We might do an off-season pod. We don't know, but it's going to be for the foreseeable future. And we appreciate all our listeners. And that's it. Peace.
Peace, everybody.